Hi, my name is David, and welcome to beautiful Lake Travis, Texas. We are just west of Austin here at Lake Travis, and this is the first of several videos that I plan to make about Lake Travis and lake life and lake activities. The purpose of this particular video is I'm going to focus on the many great restaurants that there are here on the lake. There's a lot of great places to eat. There's a lot of history that I want to share with you in that regard. First, a very quick commercial. I am a licensed Texas CPA and real estate agent. I am currently not offering CPA services at this time. I'm trying to focus more on the property side of my career. And I have lived in Lakeway, which is the community behind us here, for a little over 22 years. I moved here in 1999, and Lakeway is a small community on the south side of Lake Travis. Lake Travis is my playground. I'm out here a lot. I've been boating out here since 2006. I know the lake like the back of my hand, and I'm hoping that by the end of this video, if you have a real estate need either here in the greater Lake Travis area or the greater Austin area in general, that you'll feel free to give me a call. So that's it for the commercial. For now, we just came out of the Lakeway Marina, and we're gonna head east towards Mansfield Dam. We're gonna go about 14-15 miles to our first point of interest. So sit back and enjoy the ride. So welcome back. Here we are near mile buoy number 2. We are near Mansfield Dam, technically on the north side of the lake, and about 450 feet up on this cliff line over my shoulder here is the Oasis. The Oasis is probably the most famous restaurant on Lake Travis. The Oasis is not accessible by boat. It's accessible by car only. They opened in 1982, and they are known for their beautiful views of the sunset, Mansfield Dam, and sometimes islands. I'm going to talk more about the dam and sometimes islands in a future video. As you can see, it's made up of multiple decks for outdoor dining. Of course, they have indoor dining as well, and it is also a live music venue. So tragedy struck in 2005 when lightning struck some of the decks and the Oasis burnt down. Fortunately, the owner was able to rebuild. Before the fire started, I believe it had, 40 decks, according to their website or some of the research that I did. I'm not really sure exactly how many it has now, but it's a fun place to go to, and I definitely enjoy it. But like I said earlier, the Oasis is probably one of the more known restaurants on Lake Travis. So if you want the experience of being a true lake rat, we now need to crank the engine up and head back west a little bit and talk about some of the other restaurants on the lake. So here we are, just a little bit closer to the Valenti Beach Water Park. There are wet slips available here, so you can come here by either car or boat. I've done both, actually. This restaurant is open year-round, and it is also sometimes a live music venue. It is important to know that you do not have to purchase admission to the water park to go to the restaurants. So now from here, we're going to travel a little further up Sandy Creek towards Jonestown to our next destination, which is a restaurant called Shack 512. So here we are a little further up Sandy Creek, and we're now in front of Shack 512. Shack 512 is currently closed for the season, but according to their website, they will reopen in the spring. This particular restaurant is accessible by both boat and car. I've come here both ways. One thing to keep in mind here is that Lake Travis is a reservoir lake, so it is designed to drop in the droughts and rise in the floods. And in 2018, there was a really bad flood, and the water actually got up to the roof line. And fortunately, the owner was able to rebuild, and we're all glad that he did. One interesting fact is that when I first started coming here roughly 24 years ago, the restaurant that was operating in this location was called Cafe Blue. You may have heard of Cafe Blue. This is the same Cafe Blue that has a restaurant in the Galleria at Bee Cave, and they've also got a location downtown. So this was either their original location or one of their original locations. I'm not exactly sure when they shut down, but at some point they closed this location and it reopened later on as Shack 512. So there's a particular reason why I'm pointing out this fact, and I'm going to come back to it later on in this very same video. Okay, so now we're a little further west from our last stop, and this time we're on the south side of the lake, and we're between buoys 8 and 9. The structure you see here most recently was operating as the Emerald Point Bar and Grill, but unfortunately it appears that they have closed, and I'm not sure if there's any immediate plans for reopening or what's going to come next. Prior to being the Emerald Point Bar and Grill, this was Carlos and Charlie's. And back in the old Carlos and Charlie days, they even had some volleyball tournaments down here in a sandy area that you can't really see from where we are right now. This was a live music venue. It is accessible by both boat and car. The original boat slips that are right through here would they weren't floating slips, and so they would go dry at a certain point at a certain lake level. They've recently added some additional floating slips that are on the back side of this marina right here that are still accessible. So I'm not sure what the plans are for this particular location, but I hope that somebody puts something in here at some point, because it was a really great place to come for grab a drink, bite to eat, good views of the lake, live music, had it all. Okay, so here's another restaurant that recently closed. It's high up on the cliff here, on the very top of this cliff line, this ridge. This was Lucy's Fried Chicken. When I first started coming here 24 years ago, it was called the Iguana Grill. It was a great live music venue, great views of the lake, good place to get a drink. There are no boat slips, as you can see, so it was accessible by car only off of Ranch Road 620. So now we're up in Hurst Creek. We're still on the south side of the lake, and this time we're near buoy 13, and the restaurant you see over my shoulder here is Sundancers. Sundancers is open year-round. It is accessible by both boat and car. This is kind of a fan favorite with my wife and some of my friends. They like this place in particular. Prior to being Sundancers, it operated as Aunt Tilly's. And if you come here, and I recommend that you do, in the waiting area there's a large aerial photo of the 2009 Aquapalooza event that took place here on the lake. It's worth looking at. It's kind of cool. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Aquapalooza and what went on there when I do a future video about some of the lake events and activities. We're now going to go around this marina right here to the backside, and I'll show you the wet slips for Sundancers. And I have one more point of interest over there that I want to talk about. Okay, so we're still up Hurst Creek. We've come around this marina right here from the front of Sundancers to the back, and I said I wanted to show you the wet slips. So these are the wet slips right here for Sundancers if you want to come here by boat to visit that restaurant. But there's another point of interest that I want to show you here. So if we kind of pan over here, you'll see this blue dry stack marina, or that water in front of the marina. There used to be a restaurant there that back in '97 when I was coming here was called Sam Hill, and then at some point later on Sam Hill closed and it reopened as Johnny Finn's. Sometime during the drought of 2010 to 2015, this whole area went dry, and they took the old floating restaurant. By the way, that was a floating restaurant, and they boarded it up and they towed it out to the deep water where it sat unused for a few years. So you may be wondering, why am I showing you where a restaurant used to be? Well, there is a reason why I'm bringing this up, and I promise here very shortly I'm gonna tie it in. I'm gonna make it all make sense.